Okay, so let's get it going. Looks like we got our 9:30 underway. Just ticked over here. Let's see what we get. So price is still respecting those highs. We're still in this little consolidation here. We've got our New York high range, our New York low range, and we're going to see which side of the range gets broken through first. All right, let's see if we can get a nice trade in today. What's today? Today's Wednesday. What do we have our Wednesdays? Wacky Wednesdays? What the fuck Wednesdays? No? I forgot what our moniker was for Wednesdays. Turnaround Tuesdays was a good one for yesterday because we did actually manage to turn around. So that was fitting. All right, for those on YouTube, welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. So we are breaking down price action for NQ futures. All right. Be sure to follow along with us. If we take a setup, we're going to be following along with our 5-step checklist. If you guys don't have the checklist, there is a link in the description for you guys to download the checklist. All right, make sure that you can download that, follow along with us, and make sure that you're taking trades based off of our entry model and rules. Maybe Wednesday. Maybe Wednesdays was maybe Mondays. Maybe Mondays, turnaround Tuesdays. What the hell, Wednesdays? Good morning, John. How are you? Good to see you. And everyone out there in YouTube land. All right, so let's see if we get a nice trade today. Gonna watch. We still have not breached either side of our range. We're gonna be looking for either previous day high range here to be taken out, or taking out one of these low ranges here. These are so close together, so I'd rather see price come down and take out like London low here, Asia lows, this kind of level, right? So I'd much rather see price come down and take out these rather than just taking out this, right? Hey Chuck, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. Yep, no red news today. The only red news we had was yesterday for this week, actually. So there's actually no red news for the rest of the week. I think we have FOMC next week. Yes, next week we have FOMC, so that should be interesting. And that will also be last week of the month, closing out the month of April. I do have something cool to show you guys later on. But yeah, in terms of the indicators, how is it working for you guys? You guys liking it? Not liking it? Any bugs? Any issues? I've got a new one in development here, which I'll show you in a minute. So far, so good. All right. Very nice. Okay, we are respecting our OB zone here. Respecting previous week high one more time. Came back up here. Look at this here. 892. We got 897. We just didn't quite get up to here. This was 902 was the high, right? So just falling short of it. But what does this do? This induces the sellers in, right? Puts more liquidity up here. So I have no doubt that we're going to go back up here for that. Oh, and there was an announcement that I posted. There's a video. You can look at it after the session on how to get it, how to get the indicators. Yep. I put it in the announcements, and I did tag everyone. I thought everyone would have seen it. I think I also sent an email. I'm not sure, but okay. Chuck, indicators are working really nice. Okay, you're using the opening range as well. Nice. Okay, yeah, opening range is an option. I mean, we might go into that a little bit into the Saturday sessions. I'll talk about how to use the opening range and how to trade those. I know a lot of people are having, there's some mixed reviews with the opening range. Some people are having a lot of success with it. Some people are, kind of iffy with it. So, but that's another topic, and I don't want to kind of stray from our model because it is a completely different entry model. But you could use it as an extra confluence for our model if it's, something in terms of like direction or, but yeah, that's probably a Saturday session topic. We'll talk about that later. All right, we did get a tag of our lower range. Okay, like I said, we do have all of this down here, so I don't really trust that being the move. Although, is this sitting at it is sitting at a cycle level, right? 820. So look at that, nice reaction right off the 20, taking that level, right? And we get an instant reaction. I mean, this is not our entry model, of course, but this is what I was saying is you can get really, really tight sniper entries just like this. Targeting a cycle level, putting your stop underneath a swing or underneath the next cycle level here, right? Like 20 points. And then just targeting a quick 1-to-1 with that reaction, right? You can see here we would have gotten 25, almost, yeah, 30 points on this move here, just based off of that reaction. It's more of like a limit order, kind of like a riskier play, of course, but that's also because, the way we can do that is we have a much smaller stop, right? So you're risking a lot less and just going for like a short burst. Obviously, sometimes it'll just run right through the level, right? And that's the risk you take. But those are more so like, quick scalp entries. So we've respected the imbalance, coming back to the low here. Did we get a change of character? No swings, right? So change of character for this to be confirmed would actually have to come all the way back up to take out the high, unless we get another swing structure right here that takes out this low and we come back up, right? So if we sweep out this structure, tag this cycle level, that's possible. Look at all these lows here, right? We got a nice little dip here, change of character here. So there's actually a buy setup right here. We got these levels here, we got a cycle level here. We've got our internal change of character here, right? After a sweep of this level, respecting this level. So look how this played out here. From London, Asia, right? Asia swept out these lows here. And even this low here, yeah. So this was swept out. Or was it? Let me see. Let's not. 768.25, is that the low? Just make sure that is the low. 768.25, and this low here was 768.50. Oh, one one tick. Okay, but we did take out this low with the Asian box, right? And then we got this nice huge move up. Okay, so obviously displacement, change of character, retracement, right? We draw a line, we get our internal range here, right? It comes back, takes that out into the discount POI, which is this order block here. I think we even come down to, no, we didn't quite get down there, but we did come down to what? A psych level. Look at that, 20, right? 720, 780, I'm sorry. And then we get this move up, right? So the trade confirms once we take out this level here, but we also have a swing here. We also have a swing here. This is a good level to use, all right? So I'd say like once we close back above this level here, right? So we got to sweep below into the POI. We got to close above. This is really, really small. Let me make this bigger so we can see what I'm talking about. Okay, the safe level, of course, is this, right? That's a nice little looking swing. This is pretty good too because we have such a big volume coming in after this move here, right? So taking this level as a sweep would be good as well. And it's also sitting right underneath this level here and this level here. So if we took out, yeah, we took out this one here into this imbalance, right? So when we get the closure above, right, here's a tag, close through, close back above. Technically, you can take it right there, right? And I like the bullish candle. I don't like it as a bearish wick, right? Bullish candle. And then what would your stop be? Your stop would go underneath the order block, right? Here or here. Either way, it's a very, very tight stop. 25 points at most, right? If you give it a little room to breathe. Okay, this happens at London, right? So London session setups do happen. Okay, you can see we get a nice 70 points out of this, right? So almost 3R, right? And then it happens again, right? After we come back into the level, or actually we're looking for it to happen again. Okay, I wouldn't say it happens again, but we're looking for it to happen again now. So now we have this level, right? That respected this order block, that traded away, right? That then came back and then broke the level. So this is respecting, right? And we have order flow respecting bullish price action. Okay, and then we have our retracement. So it's from this level, this is the respect level, right? So this level to this high. So this high to this low. And we get our discount POIs right here, right? Discount POIs into this order block. I mean, this would count as well, but I would be looking for price to run these into our order block. It could be this. Could be this as well. There's one down here. So if I use this order block, then I would be looking for price to take out this level down here. And that would be an extreme sniper entry, right? So I'd be looking for price to come down, sweep that, close back above. What's my risk thing? Which is a little bit bigger stop because we still have to incorporate this order block here because we still could come down and take that out, right? Oh, I just saw a glitch in the YouTube matrix. Are you still with me on YouTube here? Everything's still looking good? Hopefully that didn't cut out or anything. Check 1 2 YouTube, all good? Okay, good. All right. So yeah, so look at this right here, right? See this level right here, also psych level 800 right here. So we could sweep that, trade into the psych level, and then pop back up. Okay, but we want to see a closure back above these lows here, respecting this OB. Okay, and then a move higher from there. That would give us about a 26, 25 point stop, and then looking to target this for 4R up here if we can get it, right? That would be an example of a setup we're looking for right now. Look at how price is respecting these lows here, right? This is all build up, right? And if we get this kind of move like this, induces what? Induces buyers. Look at this big candle, right? Huge candle up, inducing buyers. Buyers came in here, right, thinking we're going to take that. Where did they put their stops? Under here. Now we're taking out, shaking out these early buyers. Okay. New buyers are coming in here, right? Because we're respecting this section now, and now more liquidity is being built under here, and that's where we want to see next, the next sweep, right? Because this move here is going to induce buyers coming in again off of this level. Okay. So I don't want to do anything until we sweep these levels here. I don't want to do anything until we sweep above, levels above. Okay, technically we did sweep our our New York pre-market range low, but like I said, it's so close to these. I want to see these taken out first. Even though we would have had a, I mean, technically we're going to have a setup here. Let's see if we have a, oh no, we still need a swing, right? Like I said, this would have been nice if we came down one more time from right here, but we still need a swing here. So, but the setup can be off of this as well. Like if we use this, but we don't like this because this isn't really a sweep, right? This is price respecting this level, not sweeping this level. If we had swept this level here and then made this move up here, this would be a valid setup right now, right? And you can see that that does happen here. We don't have divergence, right? You can see that obviously we didn't get any divergence from here. So that means that ES and YM didn't take out this low either, which means that there's equal lows here. But bullish order block did paint, right? Price did come back into it, respect it, right? Made the move up. That's what we want to see. We want to see come down, make an internal swing low, right? That price then eventually sweeps, right, into the order block, and then we get a move away. The move away happens on the very first touch, right, this wick, but like I said, I don't like it when the wick happens like this, and you can see why, right, because price then continues to go down. Now here's the move I like, right, when we tag it, respect it, and then close outside of it with a bullish candle like that. That's the move I like. Then we can take the entry there, or put our stop underneath the order block, right? What is that? That's only about a 30-point stop. Okay, and then we obviously get our 1-to-1. Now we're shooting for 2R if we can get back up to the previous day size. I'd only be looking for 2R right here, right? Maybe it respects previous day high again. Maybe it starts to consolidate again. I don't know. All right, this is very similar to the trade that I posted yesterday in the trade ideas, if you guys saw that. I didn't take that trade because obviously the entry had already happened, right? But it was a setup that I said to look for, right, after the session was over. Where was it? After this move, I think. Right here. This setup right here. So it was a buy from here up to here. Right? We'll go over that in a second. I just want to make sure that we're not getting anything happening right here before the 10 o'clock bell. All right, there we go. Okay, so that's nice, right? Respecting that. Look at that. Respecting, 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 right? Building in liquidity here. Above previous day's highs. This respected this, right? This is looking very nice. An area up here that we're going to run through or try to run through eventually, right? So now take out some of this liquidity down here. Right? Any questions so far on anything? If not, we'll just continue to observe here. Let's see if we get our move. So now when we get the sweep, obviously we need to see price come down, close back above, right? And then we can take our potential entry. So let's see where it falls. This might have to wait until, we might have to wait until 10 o'clock volatility to kick in here. How did the 45-minute candle close? We closed bearish with a wick, came back, retested the level again, and here it comes. Right, so this was, this is actually setting up for a bearish move, and we actually got the bearish confirmation with this candle right here. Let's see if we got a nice stop level here. 50 points actually is not that bad. I might actually look to enter short here. If we can get a tag back in, oh, we did actually, we got a tag back into this imbalance. I would have been looking for that. So back here to 840, and then the short down into these zones. Looks like we missed it though. Should have been paying attention to that. So what I'm saying here is that we got our change of character here, right? We tagged the level, right? We got our change of character. Actually, we didn't tag the level. I'm sorry. What am I talking about? We have not tagged the level yet, so not yet. Scratch that. Okay, this is still consolidation. I thought we had already taken that out. We didn't. If we had a divergence here, then yes, for sure. And you can see it's still working out, but we are for sure in premium up here. Take a look. I mean, we're way up in premium. Even on the higher time frames, we're in premium. Very extreme premium of the range. So this area here is just building in a lot of liquidity, right? And want to see price slam down, take these out. I mean, we've been bullish for so long, it's starting to exhaust itself, right? I do want to see a retracement before we go up higher again for those all-time highs. And we're just, you know, we're building in all this liquidity here to do that, right? Respecting the highs, and then want to see a big drop down here into these levels, into these discount levels. So, you know, I don't really necessarily think that these levels are going to hold for much, right? If we get a bullish move. This is my current range, high and low, daily high and low range right here. So at the very least, I'm expecting price to come down into this discount, right? As explained in the pre-market. This level right here sits right inside of the discount, also this big imbalance, right? And then the low here would act as like a inducement into that imbalance, into that order block. And notice how we have this nice big order block move that sweeps this level out, and then we get that move up, right? But we don't get a lot of momentum here. It's a lot of just kind of sideways back and forth. So this to me feels like it's weak. So I feel like we're going to get another move down, you know, and sweep out these levels here, because we didn't do that in London. So, you know, when we don't sweep out Asia lows or London lows, then I'm going to expect New York to do that. It's kind of like yesterday, right? Didn't sweep out London, didn't sweep out Asia, and look, New York does it, right? All the way down here to even yesterday's lows. So we might do the same thing here today. But I would like to see our level get breached, previous daily high. That would be kind of like the icing on the cake here. But oh, we did get another tag into this imbalance. All right, we can watch this. We'll see how this goes. This would be our internal swing level right here. So we need to see a closure below this here to make this valid. And you can see it's not closing below that. So we would not take it. Maybe it makes another one. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. Oh, last second. Does it close? Nope. Almost. We do get divergence though. Let's see if we get another swing high. Yeah, but the premise here is that we did not take out our pre-market highs here. So this is still all kind of building a liquidity for it to sweep. I like that, to sweep out first, and then we can look for potential shorts. Look at that move. So we swept out another low here, right? Another internal low here into that OB. It held up one more time. Another big push. What's our psych level here? It's still this level here. It's still respecting 820. Look at that, right? There's 820. Look at how many wicks are on 820. Have not gotten a body close below that this whole time. Okay, so you know, I'm stressing you guys to pay attention to these psych levels. That's why I built it into this indicator, so you guys can pay attention to them. I have them very faint on my chart. When you put them on your chart, they're going to be defaulted much darker, right? So it probably looks a lot more cluttered on your chart than mine. I have these very faint so that they don't really appear too, abrasive. Okay, I'll go into this new indicator that I'm developing right now for you guys in a second, but where are we? This is liquidity, right? Liquidity. Okay. So down here, okay, I have these psych levels, visibility levels, only on the M5 and below. So I don't see anything above the 5 minute, because obviously I'm using these for entries and stops, right? So I don't really need to see them on the higher time frames. Unless you want to, then you can check these boxes. Okay, but the psych levels here, I have these as, and then you can copy this style. Like I didn't put those in the screenshots because these are more so like aesthetics, like I said, right? It's not really, it doesn't matter how you have these set. It doesn't really matter in terms of like, what it shows you on the chart. It's just how it looks. So the colors, I have it all uniform one color, which is this gray color. And then I have the 00 showing up as 50% transparency. And then the other ones, I think I set it like 40, right? So I have this one slightly more prominent, just slightly. But the rest of them I have set at 40%. Or the 50, this one, yeah. This should also be, I guess it didn't set it, right? So I just have the 001, a little bit more prominent. The other ones, the 20s, the 50s, the 80s, they're all at 40%. Okay, and I have it solid line for 00. I have a dash line for 50, and then the 20s and 80s, I have it as dotted, right? So you can see here, this is like our, I don't know if you guys remember, but it used to it would mimic the quarters theory indicator that we had on our old BTMM template on the MT4. We used to have levels like that, psych levels like that on our chart as well.
Hey Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, could you tell me why the London my London high is actually at the Asia high?
Your London, you mean the line?
Yeah, I'm showing at the
Okay, so
yeah
check the times, the trigger times. You have it at 215 to 216.
uh, let's see, pretty sure I do. Oh, that's under the that's up there with the
Yep, it's under
bias and
bias protocol.
yeah, 215, 216, and 915 and 916.
Okay, and your level is different than the one I have. It should be at
Yeah,
26, around 26,850.
yeah, see, I'm at 33, 833, 25, or 833,
Oh,
833.
interesting. Can you show me a screenshot? Just send it to
Yeah,
me uh, a little bit later if you want
okay.
to.
I'll send it to you later. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. I'm still using that template on my. Yeah, if you're still using MT4, you might still have my old BTMM templates. Yep, and those lines will still be on there just like that, right? So it's kind of like that. But I mean, there's a reason why those levels, because they persist throughout any market, right? All the markets have these levels that people just put their orders on, gravitate towards. It's just an easy like big figure, mid figure, that kind of stuff, right? Remember that logic. It's the same thing, right? With Nasdaq, it's these four levels. It's the 0, the 20, the 50, and the 80. Right? Those are just the levels that people like to gravitate around. And you'll see on the chart, every time you look at the chart, right, when we get a turnaround and a point of reaction, it's usually around those levels. You can see here, right here, right, where price turns around on the spot, right here, it's at 780. Okay, up here, right, 50 level, turns around at the 50 level, 50 level, right here. Right, again, sometimes it goes over, sometimes it goes over by a few points. That's fine, right? 10, 15 points, whatever. But those levels, it's going to be around like 10 points, right, give or take. It should be around a level that we get a reaction. So that's why those levels are good for entries. That's why those levels are good for take profits, and also for stop losses, right, for protection. So if you have an entry, so like for example, we want to see price sweep out this low, right? And you can see here it swept out this low. So if it sweeps out this low and then takes out, let's say, a psych level as well as the 20 level right here, right? That's good. If there's a level below it and you have this as your sweep, you can also set your level to like the psych level below it. So like here, right? 800. We didn't sweep out this level, but when we sweep out these lows, I'm going to bet that it's going to sweep out the 800 as well and sweep out these lows. All right, so there's 10 o'clock and there's the 10 o'clock volume. I really thought we were going to come down and take those levels out, but it looks like we're holding. But again, we're holding, respecting, right? So that means that we're going to come back for those levels. We're going to take those levels on the downside, and it looks like we'll probably sweep out some highs first, right? So either way, which side of the range, both the low side of the range here worked out, okay? I didn't take the buys here because of how close in proximity these lows are. But look at the logic still is there, right? Price came down. We swept out the level. Okay. We had a little change of character. Let's see. We didn't have one. Oh, we wanted. Okay. So now actually is a change of character. So we swept that. We got our change of character here. And now we're going to be looking for price to come back and take out this level down here. Okay, if we didn't get the change of character, on this time frame, maybe on the 32nd. Let's see. Sometimes it happens on the 32nd. Yeah, there's the 32nd change of character right here. So we got this swing high, right? This swing high here comes down, sweeps this level, right? Takes out the pre-market level. Then we come all the way back up, right? And then we cross that threshold. So there's our change of character. Then we get the retracement, right? It's an aggressive retracement as well, right? And then we have our order block down here. This is our order block point of interest, right? So that's our discount. And then we want to see an internal low swept into that order block. So we have this right here. Okay, we sweep out the order block here, and then we get the closure back above right here. So this would be our entry. Stop underneath the OB, 30 points, right? Put it underneath the psych level right here, 30 points. 1-to-1. Set to break even. Go for 2R. There's 2R. And then trail, right? Trail the next. If you want to keep going, previous day high up here. This is where we got to 900 exactly on the dot. Let's see if we get to 902. Okay, psych level above 900 is 920. So we could sweep out this level and hit 20 and then make a reversal, right? It's kind of how we got the trade, or how I envisioned the trade to play out yesterday, the one that we got the short, because it was right near psych level, right? I should have waited for it to come and tag the 80. I told you guys that I was waiting for it to tag the 80, and we still took the entry prematurely. It still worked out, right? But if we had waited for the 80 tag, it would have been much better. Would have been a lot more precise, and we would probably got a lot more out of that trade. I mean, for sure, we would have gotten a lot more out of that trade because the entry would have been much better. All right, so just a little quick teaser here of this new indicator called Premium Discount POIs. So what this is going to do, all right, is before I was trying to get a reasonable premium discount range to be marked on the chart. Okay, I couldn't really do that. So let me erase these here just so you can see this, how this is working. Okay, so what this is going to do is it'll do a look back, right, of the current period of the current chart. Okay, this is the 30-second chart. So the current look back on the chart here is that this is the high, this is the low. So it'll mark premium and discount and equilibrium on here. So we know where we are in this range. Okay, then over here with the order blocks, so I told you guys that the other indicator, the liquidity indicator, I might just remove the logic of the order blocks off of that indicator completely, okay, because it just doesn't work as well as I'd like it to. And it's hard to, like, kind of code that and fix the stuff in the code without messing up the other stuff. All right, so if I take this out completely and make its own indicator, and just lump it in with this premium discount, because this premium discount is very easy to code. What I've also done is I've also improved it a little bit. Okay, so what you can see is that the order block shows as an order block, but not just an order block, it also shows the volume data inside the order block. All right, so it'll show you how much buying and selling volume was in the order block, right, to kind of gauge how much or how relevant this is going to be, right, in terms of percentage. It'll show you, since this one is already traded, like you can see here, there's a 1000K. The percentage here, I think I need to tweak that. Shouldn't say 0, but it should show you the volume, right, versus like what happens here at this order block. So there's a lot more sell volume here that came in than the buying volume, which is why we get this when we get this huge massive move up like this, and there's more selling volume. That's manipulation, right? Because there's more sellers in here manipulated into this move, right? But then price shot up, so that's how you know institutions stepped into here, right, to buy. So there should be a reaction right here. You can see there's a reaction, right? There should be a reaction here, a bullish reaction here from this order block, because this is a bullish order block, right? There's a lot more selling that went on here in this order block, and look at that reaction, right, as it came in. So you can get a lot more, I guess, accurate and more success with these kind of OBs in here. And if I go to a different time frame, let's go to a different time frame. It'll mark these other ones as well. Let's see over here. So what these are in these this pink color. Okay, these are order blocks that have been traded through. So these are kind of like zone flips, right? Resistance turns support and vice versa. Okay, so what happens is price, is supposed to be bearish, right? There's an order block that's supposed to be bearish. It then gets traded through, right? And then price comes back and mitigates the OB, right? You see that mitigation, right? Resistance turns to support, hits the level, and then we get this reaction, right? Look at where we're at now. That was such a nice move right off of this OB, right? Where there's more selling volume, and you can tell right now, this is based off of volume data, right? So it's not, it's not lagging, it's real time. Okay, and then I've also be able, like, you can also put the imbalances on here as well. Obviously, I had to separate the imbalances as well from the other one if I do it that way. So there it goes, boom. Right, and that is right there. So you can see here now the 1 minute. We have the 1 minute order block here. And here we've got more selling happening here, right? More selling volume that then gets traded through. So there's probably going to be a reaction here to this level. Same thing here, right? More selling here. Yep, new all-time highs. So we took out this level. This is exactly what we're looking for price to sell off now, right? So we want to see that sweep. So we got the sweep of the New York level. Let's put that back on here so you can see. All right, now let's see if we get a reaction to this OB here. So now it's dynamically showing the OBs on the relative time frames. Before I had the higher time frames showing up on here, so like the 15-minute didn't show, or the 15-minute OBs would show in the background, right? But now it's showing every single time frame OBs on that time frame. So now it doesn't have the overlap. If I do put the overlap on there, I could try to code that as well. But like I said, when I try to make things a little bit complicated, things get cluttered, things get visually busy. All right, but I think that this is good. Also, this plots the range on the premium discount really, really well, I feel like, right? Because before I was trying to do it, it's very subjective what ranges are, right? We don't really know what ranges, to use. So what this does is just takes a period look back, and it looks like the highest high and the lowest low, and just uses that as a range, right? And then you can select, the range look back, obviously, however many bars you want, right? You can also adjust everything, customize everything. Okay. You can show it also how you want to mitigate as well. So like before, just when price touches the order block, we would call that a mitigation. But if you wanted to actually close through, the imbalance or the order block, you can use a close through, right? And then now we have those are now off the chart, right? So they're not completely mitigated until they completely close through. So this one is still valid. The other ones we've closed through, so those are no longer valid on the chart. Right? What do you guys think? Looks good? It's still a work in progress though, so I'm not going to release that till probably a few more days until I can test that out properly. And then, you know, these will be replaced with that. Yes, sir. So we'll see how that goes. Continue to test it this week and see how they look. I mean, I'll leave it on the chart if you guys want, but it's just kind of like clash with the other one, so I don't want it to be too busy. We'll see how it plots the OBs as, you know, in relation to the other one. So this one here, you can see it. This should have been mitigated, right? Should have been gone, but somehow it's still showing there, even though we did touch it. So I think there's a look back period or a minimum candle that it shows that it has to come back to mitigate. So like this is like an immediate mitigation. Like we form the order block and then it mitigates right away. That might not count as a mitigation in terms of the logic. I have to go back and look and see how it's coded. Or I have to go back and tell it basically that I don't want to code it that way. But you know, like I said with this, okay. The wick mitigation, you can see here, I can choose. Do I want a wick mitigation or do I want it to close completely through? So right now I have it set as a close, right? So this is going to stay on here as long as it doesn't close through. So this isn't technically mitigated until we close through it. Looks a little busy. If I hide the other one, then you're not going to get the liquidity lines because it's lumped in together with that one. So that's why I said I got to separate it out. But yeah. Okay, so we've got our high swept out here. It did. See that? Real close, right? Sometimes it'll come very, very close, right? So not always will it hit that level, but you know, this level was, let's see, it was 913, and we got divergence. So the other, you know, pairs didn't quite get that high here. It was just NQ. So let's see if we get a move through here. Real slow reaction here. Doesn't really look like we're going to get a big reversal. Looks like we're going to go through it and continue higher, to be honest, right? This looks like the opening manipulation that happened, right? Swept out those levels and then came back up. So now it looks like we're just going to kind of blast through that level. So 1, 2 reactions didn't do anything, and then boom, right? Then we get a massive move up. This is going to be, what is that, 15-minute imbalance, right? That potentially is going to be forming now. And there we go, new all-time highs. Okay, so we'll have to wait a bit for price to come back to retest this to go higher, and then we'll start to see if we get our model to form. While we do that, I'm just going to go quickly over the setup yesterday so you guys can see it in real time. Well, as real as we can get it. Was this move? I think it was. Oh, let me just go back to here. Let's see. I think there was this move right here. All right, so our initial opening was here, right? You got a big move down, and then we came back up. Okay, then what we did was we swept out this level here, and we swept out a couple other levels here, right? All of this, we got another move down here that swept out all of these lows. Let's see, down to this one didn't get swept, so down to here. Okay, but regardless, we swept out this level here, okay, and this level here. So let's go down to the 1 minute here and see where the, yeah, okay, so there, right? On the 1 minute, I want you to see the visual of this sweep and this V shape, right? All right, so price comes down and we sweep that level. Let's see what the other levels are here. Down here, and we sweep all the way down to right here. Okay, I'll put that on there as well. There we go. Okay, so here we have a sweep, and then we've got our swing, we've got our move down, we've got our change of character here. Right there. Right, and then we have our move away. Now we move away, right, and then we don't get a retracement until right here. So this is where we start to track our range, right? After the change of character, after the sweep is confirmed. The sweep is confirmed here when we close back above this line and also above this line here. Like this is now confirmed as well, right? So we got a confirmation, we've got change of character. Now we have the retracement back into the range. And what do we look for? We look for price to give us those internal swings, right, in the discount. Okay, we don't have any other swings in the discount except for this one right here. So this was the entry that I posted, right, is when we swept this level into the order block right here. Okay, and then we get the closure back above. There's your entry right there. Okay, stop goes underneath. We had a 55-point stop. Okay, or yeah, 55-point stop or 50-point stop if you want to leave it a little bit above, because we don't want the whole order block to be traded through, right? And then 1-to-1 would be right about here. Okay, if you want to go to 60, that's fine as well. Trading above this high obviously would be the next step, right? But remember that we have an internal high here, here, and here. And also, this is still a bearish structure. Okay, so you got to remember that it's possible that we still could just respect bearish structure, because you can see it's respecting highs, right? And then turn around, which is what we did right here. It did eventually go back up, but it had to come back down one more time to sweep another level. But that 1-to-1 was right there. Okay, it did have a little pullback and did have a little difficulty getting back up there, but we eventually got there, that 1-to-1. Right, and that's just the same thing that plays out over and over. But the reason why this didn't go in and keep going up there is because obviously at this point here we were still in this bearish downtrend, right? And so we still had more discount levels to trade down into, but we hadn't had a 15-minute change of character yet back to the upside, right? So no 15-minute change of character means that we're not, you know, expecting price to come up and run out these highs, at least not right now, until we do that. So continues down, and then then we get the change of character after this big spike, right? And the spike is right there in London/Asia, right there. Okay, this is where we actually get the 15-minute change of character back up, right? Notice it's not here. It's not here, right? There's a swing here, but it never crosses that threshold. Look, we come close to it several times, we wick several times, but never come close to it. And then we get this big move down, right? And this is the end of the day, so you're probably not looking for setups anyway down here. And then we get this move back up that closes above eventually in Asia, right? And then that gives us the move up. All right, there it goes. Let's see if we have any new OBs here. We do have a new OB here, right? More buying on this OB. So if we get a closure through, right, this is going to be a good level to short right here because we got a lot of buying volume here, right? That's if we go through this level. From here, you know, let's see if we get a retest of this. See if there's any OBs on this 30-second time frame. Oh, we got a change of character and a divergence. Let's see what we got here on the 30-second. Nothing new. I think I'll also adjust the look back on the imbalances because this just gets too crazy. Toggle like the last 5 or something, the last 10. Interesting, no OBs here. What about on the 1 minute? Okay, so just this one here. All right, so let's see if we get a retracement back into our zone here that we broke back into the OB. Okay, so to get our setup, we want to, you know, higher time frame point of interest is going to be this is our OB, right? So step 1. Step 2, we're going to need to see price come back and sweep some kind of level into this OB. So that could be on the 15-minute preferably. So what I'd like to see is, so like what we did here, right? On the 15-minute, we created a swing low. The OB here, price comes down, sweeps the low into the OB, and then we get the reaction, right? So I want to see the same thing over here. If we can, we get a retracement. So we get a retracement. Okay, the OB is here, so you know it could be previous daily high. This is also a retest of the previous daily high as well, and then price comes down and sweeps it into the OB. And this is where we drop down and start looking for our 1-minute confirmations, right? So we get the change of character, we get the displacement, we'll get the internal range to form, internal sweep, and then this type of movement. Okay, so 5-minute OB you can see here, and there's nice selling volume, right? You can see the volume here. More so sellers, so a lot more manipulation at this level here, a lot more sellers induced. So coming back to this, like we saw in that other one, where we got this reaction here, right? Should give us the same type of deal. So coming back into this zone here, pushing off against that, and then seeing a nice little blast off. Let's see how the 4-hour looks here. Yeah, it looks a little bit too busy here with all these imbalances, so I might... oh, there's also a toggle, by the way. So if you don't want to see the imbalances, you can just take those off. Right, so now it's just order blocks. That might clean up the chart a little bit better in terms of visually, right? Seeing the order blocks and the volume zones. And then on the lower time frames here as well. I think I'll also clean up the text. Do you guys want to see the text here a little more clearly, or is that okay? It kind of like faded like that because it goes in with the transparency of the actual OBs and imbalances. I guess it's okay. I just want to figure out why why it shows 0. I guess it's I need to figure that out. Why that shows 0. Never mind. I will do that later. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's like I said, still in tweak mode, still testing, right? But you guys will get that update when I post it. And just like before, just update your chart, and then it should show up. But I'll post the announcement when that's ready. How can we bring the levels closer to the present price candles? What levels are you talking about? You mean the pre-market levels? The liquidity levels? The high and low in front of the price candles. I still don't know what you're talking about, John. They're way too far to the right. These? Ah, okay. Those are, you go into the key levels in Asian range, okay, and then you go into extension bars. And then you can adjust if you want them shorter. I have them set at 35. If you want them shorter, you can go to 20. I think that'll go, let's see where that goes. Yeah, there you go. Then they go a little bit inside. So see what you have your set at. I have it default at 35. 35 takes us out to the end of the day, I think, or close to the end of the day on the 15-minute. Yeah, that takes us past the end of the day. So it's relative to the time frame that you're on. It'll show the extension is whatever, however many bars on that time frame. So, you know, on the 15-minute it's 35 bars, and that's going to be different than obviously the 35 bars on a 1 minute. But I find 35 is a pretty good proximity on all time frames. Did we tag that? 27K? Not quite. Almost. New York highs and lows, same thing. If we go into bias protocol, that's where those are. And then if you go to down here, where is it? Where is it? Here. I have them extend all the way to 4 p.m. That's the end of day. So they extend all the way across to the end of day, so I can see them the whole day. But if you don't want that, you can uncheck that and then again extend the level of right here, right? So they only extend 20 bars out now. And then you can also adjust the colors. Obviously, they have labels. So like I have this, see the opacity here. Let's see if I can get bigger there. Now you can see that they're actual labels, but I don't really like those. I don't know. That's just me. That's why I take them off completely. But it's up to you. If you want like a little labels, and you can change the colors, and you can show, you know, like I said, if you want to show only current day, it'll show just what today's are, and you won't see past ones. But if you uncheck that, then you'll see all the past levels that we marked previous days. And then if you want to change just seeing New York levels, then just uncheck London, and you won't see London levels, just see the New York levels. Oof, dangerously close. 996.5, right? I feel like we're going to get a big turnaround here. Let's see if we invert some of these imbalances here. With all-time highs, there's no left of the chart reference, right? You have nothing to reference on the left side because it's all-time highs. So, you know, all you have really is all the big figures and mid figures to reference. Is there a setting to have the London high and low but end once it is mitigated? I don't have that setting. And the reason I don't is because sometimes the London level is relevant going into New York, because we use that as either price. You can see here like this consolidation in London, right? We break above and we use this level as like the retest, right? It doesn't break this London range. So it's kind of like an Asia box, but it's a London box, if that makes sense. But yeah, you could do that manually. Like I said, if once you see prices touched the London lines, then you can just, you know, disable them, like I said, and then just work off of New York, or just have them off, you know, all the time and just work off of New York. If you're not trading London, you could do that. All right, so a big nothing burger today. It's all right. Tomorrow we've got nothing on the news, and Friday. Next week we'll have FOMC. You know, maybe we'll get some sort of activity from that. And of course, with you know, the whole war situation going on and Trump firing off tweets, you could also get something before that as well. So you know, keep your eyes peeled. But today, I would be looking for a retest of the level here for a continuation long. Right, so we can see a retest of the previous daily high. Like I said, a retest with a sweep. Right, and our order block here, you can see, is our point of interest. Okay, so we get a move like this, sweep into the level, and then we get that move higher, right? And then here on a lower time frame, looking for the lower time frame confirmations. Okay, if we get a full run through, right, with a change of character, then of course I'm not looking for longs anymore. Then I'm looking for price to short, right? And so we get a retest to the level and then the short down, right, to all those levels down below. Could London low be next liquidity? Absolutely, it could be, and I think that it, you know, has a pretty good chance, right? We didn't hit it yet, so, and that was what I was alluding to today, like them building this, all of this here, right? All of this could be next, right? If we get a full-on reversal here, and if we do, we'll see price come back below previous day high, back below previous week low, right? And then give us our change of character. On the 15-minute right now, we have a swing right here. So just getting below previous week high would confirm that for us, right? So if you get a closure underneath here, and then you see it form like a lower high here, right? Oops, that's the line. What am I doing? I want the... Okay, so we get a closure under here, right? And then you get a lower high here that respects, maybe there's like an imbalance here that gets respected, right? Now you have a what? Head and shoulders, right? And there's our QM model for the short. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Obviously, we still have to wait for this to kind of retrace and set up, right? So we're probably not going to get anything between now and the end of the session. But if an afternoon session pops up, I will try to post it as soon as I can, like I did yesterday. And we'll see if we can get something in the afternoon, possibly. But, you know, wouldn't force it. If it's not going to show up, it's not going to show up. Okay, but otherwise, that is pretty much it, guys. I think we'll call it here. We'll wait for price to kind of reassess itself and give us our setup maybe in the afternoon. We'll see if this order block zone here, this area here, becomes a high value area. And we'll see if we get a retest. All right, any questions, anything before we cut the stream and say goodbye? All right, fantastic. You're welcome, everyone. Make sure you guys on YouTube download the checklist if you guys don't have it. For everyone else, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll see you on YouTube as well tomorrow. Same time, same place. All right, guys. Take care. Good luck with your trades.